Every so often, I grab a bunch of decks that I don't reach for very often and decide whether or not I need them in my collection. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm BB, I make tarot content if you're new. Welcome back if you are not. Let's get into it. The first deck I pulled was the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. This is a very beautiful deck. Wow, I never really paid close attention to these hands. Anyway, I never use this deck, but that isn't necessarily a requirement for being in my collection. And I think that this would be a cool deck in the right context, you know, like in the right situation to read at a party or maybe a gathering of the girls, you know. I thought, you know, maybe I should open this and take a look at it. But when I did open it, because I did open it already, I'm always quickly reminded of how these look like historical fashion plates, and I fall back in love with it. I love the color scheme. I love the night sky. I don't know. It's just a good deck, and I find that the fault is mine, like that I'm not using it, you know? I think I've seen people who have complaints about this deck with like specific details, but I don't find that I have that. I think that it's just more, I haven't personally connected to it yet. Not that I've put in a ton of effort to do so. I've had this deck for a few years now, and I don't know, it's still a vibe. I'm still into it. And it's like, it's for the girls, you know, and I really like that. So first deck down, and nothing to report, nothing to get rid of yet. Okay, deck number 2 is the Tarot Cards. I actually backed this and then had to back out of my contribution or my pledge, and then ended up getting it after because there were a few left on the creator's Etsy. I love this concept. Let's see if I'm still loving it in practice. Again, this is not a deck that I reach for. There are some cards that I really enjoy and others that I don't, you know, it's like not so much. I really do like the way the cards are set up. I don't really have an issue with like the graphic design or the formatting, you know, the composition of them. But I find like, okay, this is a good example. The wands are all trucks, I think, but they're these old ones, and I just don't. I also do like the keywords, but I don't know. I think the background, see how the backgrounds are all the same? I think that's what bothers me. I think that's what it is. And then for the courts too. So the cups are all on the beach, that's fine, but the background being the same really takes me out of it. Like, this doesn't make me feel things, you know? Let's see. Okay, so the queens are all the Taj Mahal, which is confusing, like depending on which suit you're in. Okay, and then the kings. I saw a king. No? No, I saw a king earlier though. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't dig that they're all, it looks like a catalog. It doesn't, I just want more from it. I think it's a really good deck. The quality is amazing. I love that it's edged in black. And they shuffle really, really well. Should I show you a shuffle? Let's do that. I do really like the backs too. Disclaimer, I'm not the best shuffler, especially on a like higher table like this. Like they're a tiny bit stiff because they haven't been used very much. I'm all scared to bridge. But they do shuffle well. If you have strong hands, and once they loosen up, it will be great. I think that this is one that I need to move on. Yeah, let me know if you're interested in tarot cards. It's an independent deck that was a Kickstarter. It's from 2022. And it has like facts in here, which are fun. Yeah, okay, that's the tarot cards. Find your destination. Very cute. Okay, the next deck I keep in this bag, which I think is from like the Modern Wisdom deck or something, but that's not what this deck is. It is the Otherkin. I don't keep it in the box because it's huge. Okay, so the reason I don't use this is because I don't super love the finish on it, and I don't super love the like paper texture, like image on the back. Nor do I really love these like watercolor stains. That being said, I love the animals. I love the drawing style. I love the use of mermaids in this deck. What else? I do like the negative space, the simplicity. I'm a huge fan of the titles and their design. I don't think I can get rid of this deck. I think that I need to focus more on it. It's definitely underused, but I think it's really powerful. It has a great guidebook. It's huge. I keep it separately with the rest of my guidebooks. And it surprisingly goes with a lot of things. And I just haven't used tarot very often this year. So this is another one where I feel like I would be using it more if I were using tarot more, and especially reading for others more, which I really have stopped doing, which bums me out because when I first was, oh yeah, that is correct. When I first was reading tarot for the first like handful of years, I kind of only ever read for other people. Anyway, so this is the Otherkin Tarot. It's by Ciolo Thompson. She has a ton of decks, and I think this is my favorite one of hers, question mark. So I don't think this will be going anywhere. I also don't think it helps that like this bag doesn't make me think of this deck. I think I need to get more intentional in the bag types that I'm, using for my decks. Everyone always has really cute bags. Not that that one isn't cute, but I think I need to get a bag for it that reminds me of what's in here, and then I will maybe recognize it more when I'm looking through my collection. I find too that if I have a light colored deck in a dark colored bag, that's not very helpful for me either. I don't think of it as that deck. I think that's what's happening now. I store my decks by color. That's how I am visually, and I remember where things are based on colors. So I think those two things being disparate are not helping. Okay, we are keeping the Otherkin. Moving on. The Pulp Tarot. Okay, we like the backs, but is that enough of a reason to keep this deck? Oh wait, we like the fronts too. Sometimes when you pick up a deck that you don't look at very often, and then you actually do look at it, it's instantaneous. Like, no, I will not be getting rid of this. This is freaking rad. I love it. I should probably be using this more often. Yeah, I don't know. Who has this deck? What do you use it with? What time of year do you use it? What type of readings do you use it for? I don't know. Maybe like goals or business, or I could see a relationship reading with this too. So So maybe all types of readings. I'm not getting like spiritual readings with it. Let me know, because this is a win. What was I thinking? Yeah, cute, cute, cute. Okay, so we're keeping the Pulp Tarot. Next is the Parrot Tarot, and I feel like this deck stumps me, my friends. It really does. It's weird, but it's supposed to be weird. I don't even have words. I feel like the fact that I don't know is a good indicator that I need to sit with it and I need to give it a good try. It's so bizarre. But that's kind of the charm. I think that's why in part I got it and that it appealed to me. Yeah, I just don't know. Some of these colors are really fun, and I might just need to get over their faces, you know? Is that a thing? Do people do that? Get over their faces? You know what? This reminds me of like a kid version of, oh my gosh, what is it? The Hardy Tarot? It's like a kid version of that. Because I love the non-people and like minor cards in the Hardy Tarot, and I feel the same way about this because they're Thoth influenced. I think I need to read the little pamphlet that comes with it too. So for now, this is a keep, and it just needs to like wait its turn until I can kind of deep dive with it, you know? I do like this 8 of Cups for some reason. It definitely feels like a learning deck. Like, look at all that information on there. The Techno Mage Tarot. A deck I was very excited about, but now I'm realizing that I don't necessarily want to put the work in, and visually it's not doing the most for me. So the Techno Mage is a cool concept. It's, you know, like post-apocalyptic. It's very Blade Runner. It's very like techno gothy, all the other words I can't remember. But I'm trying to find, okay. So it has the orbiculums, which I believe are the cups, but I never can remember, and that's partially why I don't use this. The sigils, which I believe are the pentacles. The weapons, which are the swords. And the technologies, which are the wands. Do you see where I'm getting with this? It's a lot of learning. Yeah, it's a lot of new information, and usually I can go with the flow pretty easily when it comes to renaming the suits. But because there's not a lot of kind of easily recognizable symbols to keep me on track with the suits, or like reminding me what the suits are, like I guess the sigils is easier. Technologies, I would have no idea. Like the fact that there's red, maybe but like technologies would be wands, right? And then weapons being swords, like none of these look like swords to me except for like maybe that. You know what I mean? Like it's just hard. And also, these are cool as far as like a basis for some art direction, but I don't feel like there's a story or world building. These feel like very one-off images to me. Like I don't see how they all connect at this point. I don't know who's a good guy or a bad guy. I don't know what everyone's trying to do. Does that make sense? Like, I just need some more lore, I guess, and maybe it's here and I'm just not taking the time. These look like swords. The orbiculums are the most, like, they're the most easily recognizable. I don't know. I definitely want a deck like this so badly, but I want it to have more variation in its imagery and also like more story. Sorry, there's a car alarm. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. I will pause. So I think I'm gonna move like this on as well. This is gonna find a new home. So if you want to, you know, give it a try and play with it, or if you love the images and you just want it in your collection or library or whatever you want to call it, let me know. My Instagram is in the description below if you want to DM me or comment on one of my photos. I don't really know where I'm going to price these yet because they are Kickstarters, so I kind of have to do some research, but they are not very used at all. I don't think I've done more than 2 readings. No, I think I've done 1 reading with this deck and 0 readings pretty much with the tarot cards. Okay, we have the Chinese tarot deck. I think I got this in Portland at a metaphysical shop. I know it's pretty common, but it's another one that sits there, I look at, and I don't really do much with. But it's so gorgeous. Honestly, I don't think I would change anything about this deck. Yikes. I mean, except for the fact that you could see like the copyright and US games on it. Yeah, this is another one that's like instantaneous. A big yes. I love this. I think it says the original copyright is 1988, and I think maybe that's partially why I am really drawn to it. I love like 1980s illustration styles and animation styles. This is a show that I would watch. This has elements that the last deck was missing. So things like this where people are interacting with each other, and I feel like I can derive, like, it makes it feel like it's more of a real world, which, I mean, it is. It's not a fantasy deck. It's a deck that's based in history and reality. So they had that going for them. But yeah, this is a way resounding yes. I love this deck. And sometimes you just need to pick up your decks that you don't look at very often and look at them and remind yourself why you have them. I love that in the guidebook too, it describes the characters. So you're not just getting a Chinese image with a generic description of the high priestess. You're getting Shi Tai is the Chinese title for an abbess. The high priestess uses prayer beads to guide her in chanting a specific number of mantras or meditational prayers. So you're getting more, and you're learning about, you know, Taoism and Chinese culture, which is so great. It's like so enriching. It's so much better than your average little white book. We're keeping. Next is the Moonlight Hermit. I actually purchased this secondhand from Honey Lou Wilson. Hello, how are you, girl? I don't really use this deck, but I really loved the aesthetic vibe of it. So we're gonna take a look and see if it's still something that I connect with visually. It's very pop art. I'm trying to think if there's anything that's kind of replaced it in my collection. I would say maybe the Dang Olsen. I'm kind of leaning no. Oh, I really do love that card though. There are things about it I really enjoy, but with all of the new collage decks that have been created in the past year, or maybe even 2, I do like that one too. I think this is one that I need to start using a little bit before I can decide. There are cards that I really, really like. I think it just depends on how it reads. So instead of just avoiding it, I should maybe start reading with it. and maybe see what else it pairs with in my cabinet, you know? I don't know. I think this is one I could see myself like trading or selling later on, but there's something about it that makes me want to give it more of a chance right now. Yeah, that's where we're at. This is the Moonlight Hermit. Super fun, super colorful. I wish that all of the cards were more collagey. You know, you see how some of them aren't at all? Like these three, for example. When the other cards are much more interesting, like these court cards, you know, the majors, things like that. When they're just these kind of vector style illustrations, I don't dig it as much, but when they're putting, you know, real images, then I feel like they pop out and like, it's more, I don't know, it's more effective, it's more appealing. I do like this. This is cool. The Lover's Path Tarot. I have this edition that only comes with a small booklet, and I would really love the edition that comes with the larger book so I can read more about the different couples. Yeah, like I feel like this is not enough. Makes me sad. So maybe one day I will get the other one and then I'll be able to, you know, pass this one on. But for now, let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's gorgeous. It's not the style that I would use. Sorry for all the honking. It's not a style that I would use or be drawn to normally, but because the theme is the lovers and because of the beautiful, beautiful borders and the use of the arrows, the heart-tipped arrows, these like claddagh, it's probably not a claddagh, actually, it's like more of a sacred heart situation. These coins, it's really selling it for me. These cups, it's like, you know, anything love themed and this beautiful fairy tale style is definitely gonna do it. So yeah, I mean, any doubts that I had about owning this deck are kind of quelled. And of course, the backs, which I actually hunted down this deck because of these backs, because they were so, so beautiful. Let's see when this was originally published. 2004, which is so wild. This is a first edition. US Games knows how to pick. I have a lot of US Games decks. When it comes to mass market, I feel like so Lover's Path is a yes. And we're on to our last deck, which is another Kickstarter, the Golden Eclipse Tarot. I've heard a lot of good and bad things about this deck. I've seen complaints, I've seen praises. It took a long time to get. I'm just kind of wondering, like, am I kidding myself about like ever, oh, it's in order. Okay, hold please. I was gonna say about ever using this deck, you know? It says the title on the outside, if you can see. And then it also says, because it's like astrology based, see? Astrology. See, I got it, and I got it a while ago too, and I have not touched it. I do like the lilies and the roses. I love the gold. I love gold. I like the Greek kind of influence on it. I really do like the imagery. But round decks are just so I don't know. This reminds me of the marigold. I don't know. Maybe I should read the book. Who has this? Do you have this? And if so, what do you do with it? Do you like it? I'm stuck. I feel like it was an aesthetic that I was really more drawn to like 3 years ago. I think that's what's happening too. But I really like, when I'm looking at it, I'm not feeling like, oh yeah, this isn't doing anything for me. It really is beautiful. And I really think it could be profound. I'm just not sure. I should definitely read this book. I'm gonna put this, I think this might even be slated on my like practice calendar. I'm gonna check. Okay, I grabbed my handy dandy notebook and the guidebook, and oh my gosh, she's chunky. She's a chunkster. Sorry, there's stuff in it. Oh, and look, I had started reading it. Where did I see that? Oh yeah, because it goes through all the zodiac signs. Okay, yeah, I think I just need to study it. And let me see if I have it slated towards the end of the year. I don't. So maybe I can use it in January or February. I need to get my stuff together and plan my 2025. Okay, so that was a doozy. I wasn't sure about this one at all, but I think I've convinced myself that this will be a fun study deck, excuse me. So that's where we're landing. I think I'm only getting rid of 2 decks. The tarot cards and the Techno Mage Tarot. So, if you were interested in either of these, let me know. I want to thank you for being here. Thanks for being curious, and thanks for being my friend. And my mom's coming, I gotta go.